Hello and happy Tuesday. There we go. Maybe I'm just live now. Hello, happy Tuesday. I hope that everyone has had a really good weekend. Happy Easter. It was holiday for us as well yesterday. So we actually celebrate the whole week of Easter prior. And we also celebrate the Monday after Easter. So it's been quite a whirlwind, and we've had a really quiet Easter. As you know, we had a passing away of my very good friend and cousin. And so pulling out all the tools and strategies that I've learned, and this is definitely the moment when we are challenged and when we use everything that we've learned and pull us up right back to where I want to be. So I don't want to be in a low vibration, but I'm not a robot. So yes, I cry and I'm angry and I have a lot of emotions that I'm just really love dealing with because it's just a part of my growth. It's part of life. And so from a different perspective, I was thinking about this the other day of who I was a long time ago. I probably would have been a huge drama queen and not been probably a really good role model for my family in a situation like this if it occurred those 10, 15 years ago. So, and I was talking to my husband about that we've gone through a course together, and we realized that it doesn't matter the circumstance. There's some circumstances that can really challenge you more than others. That's true. But the tools and strategies are always the same. Once you've learned them, you will be able to use them in any situation and pull yourself out of there and pull yourself forwards because it's so easy to bring yourself down. So that was just a little bit of me and what I've been up to in Easter. I didn't do any stories if you noticed. I put out my first post yesterday after a week, and because I really want to support women's mental health because this is the foundation here is being aware before we get to that point, right? And another key point is asking for help because, I'm sure we know a lot of people. Well, I'm going to say for my example at this point that my cousin, I knew she was a bit down. I had offered her some help here and there, did not accept it, but never to think that this would actually happen. And so a lot of it is we need to ask for help and we don't need to be embarrassed or fearful. It really comes down to deciding. And that was me. That was me that 5 years ago when I said enough. I had my moment as well. And I wanted to do the same thing and take my life. And it wasn't because I didn't want to live anymore. It was because I just wanted this whole situation to stop, the situation that I was living at that time, because I didn't know what to do anymore. And I decided just one evening that it was enough. And the morning after, I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be like this. This can't be the way out. And I asked for help. And my help was I got myself a coach. She was a transformational coach. And I went through a whole program she had gone through herself. And she showed me a lot of things that I didn't know. Some I did. And I tried a lot of new things. Some things that weren't resonated with me, but a lot of things did. And I took them and I left them and I used them and I played around with them and I just played full out and I put myself all in because I decided that enough was enough and that I was going to change. And I never stopped since. So today, the training is really about this. I posted yesterday about how our thoughts, and I know I talk about this a lot, but this is really the foundation. Our thoughts will become our destiny. Today, I'll be posting out a post of a mantra. I guess you say that mantra that I use. And I just post it up on my mirror because I change it up. I put it up on my mirror, on my wall, so my family can see it as well as they're washing their face, brushing their teeth, whatever. So, and I change it up. Um, but this is what I use, and I want to see if I can read it out to you. You guys get. I'm gonna create it for you so you guys can have the PDF and print it out yourselves and put it up on your wall. Let me just get to it here. Patience today. I'm not still as quick as I want to be, but I'll get there. I'll get there. It's all good. So our thoughts will literally create your destiny. And I want to prove it to you with my own experience and with my own examples from my life. Um, as you know, I'm just pulling up the post that I created today. And let's see here if I can get this is mine. Um, no, I can't find it. Hold on a second. Sorry, patience. Patience is coming up. It's coming up. Yeah, I want to read it out to you. Um, so basically, I want to give you guys examples today of you can see that today I was not prepared. I am prepared. This is what I actually teach and go through with my clients. Um, just patience with me, guys, today. I'm getting back into the wing of things, and getting back into my groove and all that. So it takes time, right? It takes time. But this is also the healing part for me, being here with you, all of you, and sharing this with you, and hoping that even just one person takes this and uses it and changes their lives and doesn't dig themselves into that rabbit hole that as you dig yourself in there, um, you don't see the light. And it takes so much time to get out of there and start seeing that light for you, seeing what's possible for you. So, um, I'm going to read it to you. So it's watch your thoughts. They become your words. The words that you use will become your actions. The actions that you take will become your habits. The habits you create will become your identity. The identity that you build will become your destiny. And I read this all the time. And there's so many things that I use. So, um, some are memorized, some are not, because there's just so many things like affirmations that I use. I like to switch it up, but fundamentally, it's always about keeping training your brain, keeping your brain aware, training it so that it sees what's possible, what's different in life. Positivity, acknowledging the negativity, switching it over, replacing it. So I want to give you examples of my own personal life. As you guys know, 5, 6 years ago I was not in the happiest of place. I explained that just 5, 10 minutes ago. And I was literally one night, every night anyways, I was crying all the time after everyone was sleeping. I hardly slept at all and just crying that just praying for somebody, something, Jesus, God, whatever, anything that would come and save me. And I would call like my mom at night, my sister at night crying. And yeah, one night I just decided to that's it. Like I'm never going to get out of this. This is going to be my life and there's no way that I'm staying in this life like this. And then I just said no. I um something came over me. I don't know if it was an energy or something. And I said no. I can't do this. Like I have to fight to the end. And just my kids came in front of my eyes. I was just like, would I want this for them, like to give up? Um, and I just started writing out, I don't know how many, like an 80, like the whole booklet that I had. There's like 80 pages more, just thoughts, angry thoughts, blaming what I want in life. It just wrote till like 3 something in the morning. And I decided in the morning I was going to do something. And that's when I decided um, to hire myself a coach that went through the same journey. And so my from that point on, I really had to work on myself. And a lot of it I didn't like because I was blaming situations and other people, especially my husband, um, this area where we were living, where we are living currently still, the home situations with his family, just blaming, blaming, blaming. And I never really turned around my finger and said, is it me? When my coach said you need to take responsibility of your actions, I got really upset because I'm like, no, it's not me. Like, look what happened here. Look what happened there. Like, no, it's not me. But there was a common thread in everything. Like the career, relationships, my family, the common denominator was me. And so I couldn't change anything else but myself. And I didn't know that. Like this was all new to me. I was like 39, 38 at the time. And you're like, you didn't know you could think for yourself. And I'm like, actually, I didn't. I didn't know I could actually sit there and decide what to think. I didn't know that you could actually train your brain to think a certain way. I thought it's just whatever, naturally, the gods or whatever, how I was born, um, that just whatever comes out just comes out. I never actually sat there and and thought about what I think or tell myself what to think or train myself. And so that was like a big, big shock to me. Once I figured this out and I let myself into this world because I was always digging into the hard things. Like I didn't believe in these things, right? Like when I got my coach, I spent a lot of money and I was like, she was giving me worksheets and these little simple 1, 2, 3 steps. And I'm like, is that like, this is it? Like, this is not going to help me. And she told me just to believe and do it. And that up until now, what I was doing wasn't working. And that was true. So why not? Like if I had to go through another 6 months of the year or 8 months of the year the way I was, might as well do this, right? And I put my heart and soul into it. I really did. And it did work. It did. Um, and it was a lot about my thoughts. My thoughts. So the I started thinking differently. I started introducing things in my life that I never did, which was me first, boundaries, um, affirmations, and that was all about like the training part. I always say often about going to the gym, right? We go to the gym, we do that hard work, and then once we get to the point where we want to be, we just go into maintenance. So I did a lot of hard work on myself. I really had to go deep, deep, deep. Some of it was back into childhood, growing up, um, even culture, right? Sayings or beliefs in our culture. And I had to go through that religion and even just being okay with myself and my beliefs and what I had to do was a lot of self digging. And the best part of it was that there was the accountability. Because if I had to do this on my own, I would have gave up. It's like when we go to the gym again and you do it on your own, you get a certain result. There's some of us that are just so strong in the beginning, we can do it, but that's a really small percentage. The ones that really succeed, and if you notice, have a coach, have um, a trainer with them. People that are losing weight healthy, they do a nutritionist. That's like the coach, in the food department, right? So the accountability was undescribable, what I went through. And so I decided to shift my thoughts. And I'm going to tell you that I never noticed what I said to myself was actually going to become. And I noticed a lot of things that I said to myself, even when I was younger, that got realized. And a lot of the things that I said to myself in the money part, because I always had struggle with money, was around my thoughts that it's not for me, it's only for rich people, people that are already were lucky, people that already had money in their family, all those things. And so I had to shift my thoughts around it. Um, and so I remember, for example, my last day of graduation in high school, we had a yearbook. I don't have it here because I have it in my home country. But once I get there one day, I will show it to you because this is the truth. You write out, they give you like all these little questions, where do you want to be in 10 years? Da da da, all these questions. And one of them that I wrote was, in 10 years, I want to be married at home with 3 kids. And it happened. I think after like 3, 4 years, I got married after I wrote that. And within the 10 years, I was at home, married with 3 kids. So your brain is watching you. And I know a lot of you right now are in a tough spot, especially emotionally, because it's your thoughts that are creating these emotions. And you've told yourself at one point that you're never going to forget and you're never going to forgive. Because if we're leading unhappy lives, there's something that happened in our lives that we do not want to release and we do not want to let go of. And it creates unhappiness in our lives. It enables us to live at a high vibration. So we live at a low vibration, and it enables us to take and respond in our day-to-day living. And it all comes down to our thoughts. So everyone thinks that our emotional scars, our emotions, us feeling sad, angry, whatever that is, um, has to do with everybody else and everything else that's going on. We blame. But it really is the easiest thing to heal. It's harder to heal a physical wound. Like if we have like a scratch, we fell or something, right? It's actually so easy to heal our emotional pain because it's just a thought. We just have to change a thought. And so you could probably reflect right now as I'm saying this, if that is making sense to you. Because our thoughts create our emotions, which create our actions, and we create our results, and it's our destiny. So we create our own destiny. And if you have been following me for a while, and those for you who are new, I talk about creating a lot. Once I've understood and figured out this key secret that we create our days, we create our thoughts, we create our present, we create our future, we create our lives, everything else changed for me. Once I got a handle on my thoughts, everything else came into play. So, for example, when that whole situation happened with my husband, I was like really emotionally unhealthy, and um, looking back at the decisions that I made, I realized that my brain, like our brain is our best friend. What we tell it, it will do it. If we tell it not to forget, it will never forget. If you tell it to do something, it will do it. Like unconsciously, it's bringing you to the actions to what you told it to do, what you wanted. And and so when it happened with my husband, we were sitting in this reunion with the doctor and stuff, and he said, "There is no maybe. There's no in between. It's a yes or a no. You decide. Do you want to support him? Yes or no? If it's a no, then enough. If it's a yes, then even that is a yes. You move forward without going, backwards and going back and forth and offending him and blaming him. No more blaming. You said yes, enough. So when I decided yes, literally, I remember that day I said to my brain, enough. Yes, we are supporting him no matter what. And he still would come in. He was toxic and saying things and his actions, and he was still going through like leaving his drinking and not, and we just as a family, I explained that we decide this or that, yes or no, and if you decide, you stick with that. And so we all decided yes. So we would sit at the table and he'd be like silly like that and all that stuff. But he literally, after we went through the whole course, um, he snapped out of it. He understood. And so there was a lot of persistence, resilience, um, and it's a lot of training. It's a lot of like heavy lifting, but the results are undescribable. Um, and so that was one huge block. And another one that I said to myself is when we bought a house like 8, 9 years ago. We bought it. It was a really, really old house. It was like a great deal, but it was like run down. We got it to a point where we could rent it out, but it was still really, really, really old. And it got to the point like 3, 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, it just looked like it was like folding on itself. I'm like, oh, we're not renting this anymore. I don't want to like literally if the roof's gonna fall on somebody. Um, and an opportunity came after COVID. Our country was doing a lot of bonuses. I'm sure in a lot of countries they were helping out people, and I was just going through things and looking up anything that would help, we could apply to. And there was a bonus if you had an old home, you could apply and they would give you a certain amount of money. So we did it. And we are right at limits. We were supposed to get the key a couple of weeks ago, but again, because of the situation, we kind of just they know what we're going through. There's some it's in bits of stuff to finish. So we probably won't be getting the key to the end of this month, but it actually got thrown down, redone new, and I can't believe it. We did have to put in some money. My parents did help. I asked for help a little bit. Me and my husband did. And obviously, the major part was from the government, and we don't have to give back anything. And so it's little things like that, that when you are on a high vibration and you tell yourself what you're capable of doing, you will see the opportunity. You don't have to have money to have money. I don't know if that makes sense. Back then, it did not make sense to me. I'm like, no, you got to be like freaking rich, to do all this stuff. You got to be a smarty party. Okay. You got to know how to go into this stuff. Like, not know how to go into this stuff, like, be open to opportunity. When I heard bonus, I'm like, let's check it out. Let's go through all of it. Let's see if there's anything for the family, anything for car, anything. Why would I have to, like, if I had to redo that home, I would probably have a 40-year mortgage on me, which would mean that I'm shooting for 120 years old. It would be paid off. But think about 40 years on my back. Literally, I've got zero on that house. And I want to go like this, like I want to smile like this because if I had to go back the way I was, I would have never believed in that opportunity. Even if I would have heard, I'm like, no, it's not for me. I can't do that. Oh my goodness. But you have to wait it out. Like, yeah, I had to put money, but compared to the money they gave to me and now what the house is worth, like that was like a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. But back then, I wouldn't see that. So I say to myself sometimes, how many opportunities slipped by me because of the things I would say to myself that I was incapable, I'm not good enough, other people are lucky, it's not for me. Your brain is listening to you and it will put you in front of things that you say and tell yourself. So this is like really my life right now. And this is the richness. This is the success. It's about being rich in your love life. It's about being rich in your family life. It's about being rich in your friends' life. It's about being rich with yourself. The relationship I have with myself, I'm my best friend right now. And sometimes I don't like me. That friends, we fight with friends, right? We don't like the way they act sometimes, but I accept that. I accept I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. So I don't put myself in the situation where I'm going to be in difficulty because I know that's my weakness. And I've learned something else. Why would I bang my head against the wall on these weaknesses? We all have these traits, right? It's not that I can't learn. Like, I was not a tech savvy person. I'm not the best tech savvy. I did a program. I learned what I had to learn. But you know what? Anything that's even more difficult, I just get someone to do it. I pay them. No one told me that. Like, I've always hated cleaning the house. It takes up so much time. No one told me I could get a lady in the house for a couple hours a week or whatever and just put my house in order. That was like a sin. So it goes back to beliefs. And then it goes back to how am I going to pay for that? You actually adjust your life. It's funny, the things that I have done, because once you prioritize these things, you adjust your life according to. You really do. You find the way. But if you don't let yourself allow yourself to take that step forward, you will never know. Like, I love to fail now. I did everything possible never to fail, and I was failing the most at that time. And the biggest failure was I was stuck in my life in this like time warp for like more than 10 years. I always say those 4, 5, 6 years is because that's when I woke up and I realized what was going on. Like, I was probably like a good 10 years more in this time warp. Every day was like anger, sadness, stuck, same situation. You know, so it's really up to you. I'm going to cut this short because it's been about half an hour now. These trainings should be shorter, but today was really, really important. Really important to um, understand your thoughts will create your destiny. That's it. So check up on your thoughts. If there's only one thing you're stuck right now and you just feel like everything's on top of you, you don't know what to do. One thing. This is the only thing you have to do is watch your thoughts. If this is the only thing right now that you have the strength to do, watch your thoughts. Literally just take out the time today, take a notebook, some paper, write out. Just be aware. What am I saying to myself? What did I say right now? Do write it down. Just awareness. And just concentrate on that. If you can shift your thoughts, you will shift your life. That is literally the first thing that I did was concentrate on my thoughts. What I said to myself, when, where. There's a pattern to it. There's a timing. Sometimes, like at night, I'm really tired. I would say these things just out of tiredness. So be aware. If this is the only thing that you can do right now because you just have a bit of fog and you can't see what's possible for yourself, watch your thoughts, track them, watch the patterns, replace them, and repeat, repeat, and repeat. It will literally change your life. So, thank you for watching up until now. If you guys want to go further, I am available. I have opened the doors. There's only 2 spots left. When I had opened the doors, 3 people popped in right away. I had sent out emails to all of you that have emails with me and got the service right away. So jump in. Don't be afraid. I've got 2 spots left. We can work one on one. I'll see where you're at. We can work together, map out something particularly for you. And I can teach you, I will show you all the tools and strategies that you need. I know right now it's a time that everyone wants to make extra money. And put your hand up that are watching or going to watch the replay and are going, they're doing like side things like Amazon drop shipping or digital programs creation. You want to be a coach yourself and whatever that is for you. I did all of it, but I did all of it from a point of I had no clarity here. So when I did these programs, and you guys can put your hand up, just at your home while you're watching this, you went through programs and it didn't work for you, and you said this program was crap, it didn't work for me. That was me, but it wasn't the program. It's here. It's here. You have to do a mindset transformational journey before actually figuring out exactly what you want to do. Exactly what you want to do. And then everything else I did all came back tenfolds because I had so much clarity with myself. I knew exactly what I needed at that time. I needed tech. I did a tech program. I needed, to understand challenges and events, and I did that. Every piece of my business, I specifically found somebody to do that with. But I went through a course for myself first because nothing else was working because I didn't believe. I didn't believe in myself. So it didn't matter what I was buying. I want to make extra money as well. but it wasn't working because I didn't believe in anything. I didn't even know what I was looking for. And this actually, just to cut this short, I just wanted to add this. I put up a framework how to eliminate fears and insecurities. This is my signature framework that I used, that I created to eliminate fears and insecurities in my life. And I got some messages that some people said, I didn't expect it to be like that. Like it doesn't seem like it's for me. Like it didn't, they weren't pleased with it, kind of thing, right? And I love that feedback. And I said, thank you so much. And I wrote back, what are you looking like, what is exactly what you were expecting, right? And I understand that because I was there. I was always looking for something hard. I don't know what I was looking for at that time either. And it was so simple. This framework is so simple that people don't believe that simplicity can actually change your life like that. And it's my signature framework. And fears and insecurity really is, it's because you don't have a goal set, you don't have nothing to focus on, and you're so insecure about what's going on in your life. Once you get the clarity and wash everything out, and you're aware where you are, and you set a goal with yourself, and you focus and go aligned with that, you won't have fears anymore. Like I still do have some fears. Like, yeah, coming up on here on live and saying, am I going to bring value? Are the viewers are going to be happy? Is my group are going to be happy with what I'm doing? Are they getting value? Are they moving forward in their lives with what I'm serving? I get fear all the time. And but I know where to put that aside. That it's a part of my growth. It's because I'm focused on what I know this live is a step forwards towards what I'm creating in my life and helping others. So, to make this a little bit shorter, a little bit longer, guys, I'm gonna cut the trainings a little bit. They've been a little bit more of heart-to-heart chats in the last three. Particularly. I'll be cutting them short to like 10, 15 minutes. I know that you guys can't all be here for 30 minutes. It's quite long. But the important thing is that you got the value, and I hope my experience has helped you. And again, reach out. There is the link to book the call, book the connection call. And I only have 2 spots left. I work really close one-on-one with my ladies, and if you have listened up until now, something resonated with you, and it's time to change your life. Don't wait anymore. I'm here to help. We can do it quicker, and I can teach you exactly what you need to know so that you can self regulate and move forward and do the things that you really love, make the money that you want, have those relationships that you've been craving for, and just live that wonderful life. I hope you guys have a really good Tuesday, and see you next week.